what's up, guys? I am gonna do a quick mail day. Got a few things here, and just wanted to kind of recap them and get another video up. Keep the train rolling here. So let's go ahead and just get right into these. These are just over the last 2 days. Got a few things here, so shouldn't take too long. And I want to just kind of talk about what we got. I am not exactly positive what's in these, but there is should be a good, hopefully a good variety. We'll send things in the envelope. I don't mind it as long as the card is in a top loader and it's well protected and it's good. And I think really the only time you should send something in a flat envelope is if you are not charging for shipping. There's obviously a pretty high price to ship bubble mailers, but if you're putting it in these, you definitely shouldn't charge shipping. It's a little bit dishonest, I would say. If you charge someone $4 or $5 and then you end up sticking in here. You also can't track it, so you know that's the other issue. Alright, there we go. Wow. That's quite the undertaking for a small envelope. Okay, so two things to note here. This is not a top loader. This is just a, I don't even know what this is. I think it's a card saver that they cut or something. Yeah, I don't know how people do this. Anyways, these weren't super expensive cards. These are, if you've seen my last couple of videos, they were the Barcelona 92 Dream Team cards I've been trying to piece together. So yeah, you know, this is a semi-rigid, but it's definitely not thick enough to put just in a basic paper envelope. So I would highly not recommend sending things in that. Definitely just grab a top loader. These things are cheap. They're, you know, if you look at this, the rigidity of these, I mean, these aren't perfect, but way safer than sending it in this. So if you're sending it in a flat envelope to save on shipping and to not charge your customer shipping, just invest the 10 cents or whatever it is in one of these and make sure that, you know, you stick it in here versus a semi-rigid. So rant over. Anyways, this is these are the 3 cards. Again, I'll spend some time later seeing if these are in decent shape. Hopefully they are. But yeah, so there's the complete Barcelona 92 Dream Team. Pretty cool. It's a tricky one. Obviously, there are cards that are pretty old now, and the coloring variations and a lot of things change on these, depending how they've been stored, and you know, the perfect, you know, pristine whiteness of them obviously is a little bit different. I got one in the mail the other day. I'll try to get these in the video here, and you can see the coloring on this is way different. The whiteness on this one is brighter than on these. So anyways, it's a cool set. I really just want to make it. I want to, you know, attempt to get them all on a PSA 10, but that might not be possible. It's a hard card, so it might take me a few go arounds on the grading to try and get that. I mean, you can just see lining them up. They're probably not centered, but at any rate, I'll try. So let's see if we can name everyone, right? Chris Mullin, Charles Barkley, David Robinson, Michael Jordan, John Stockton, Karl Malone, Magic Johnson, Patrick Ewing, Larry Bird, Scottie Pippen. There they all are. Pretty awesome. Anyways, very cool. Happy to have those. I'm gonna open the other flat envelope that came in, so hopefully this is another lower end card that shouldn't charge for shipping. There's nothing worse than ordering cards or buying cards on eBay and the price of the card is actually less than the price of the shipping. I think that's such a it just really turns people off, I think, from buying on eBay, especially the lower end cards. You know, drives people to ComC and other sites. because people have to charge, you know, $3-4 to stick it in a bubble mailer. So like I said, I don't think there's anything wrong with the flat envelopes. You know, you're not going to get the tracking number, which, you know, is one thing. But for the most part, when I've shipped it this way, I haven't had any issues yet so far. So it works. It's like sending a letter to somebody. Most of, you know, 99.9% of the time, there's no problems. But as long as you stick it in a top loader, you shouldn't have issues. And you still can cover a basic, you know, the 55-cent stamps with the top loader still works just fine. So you don't have to worry about adding extra stamps or doing anything like that. I looked into that a lot, made sure that the weight matched and there wasn't any problems with it weighing too much. So you're still within the guidelines of what you can stick in a flat envelope, and it's not too thick either to where it goes through, you know, the feeder machines that give you that, you know, to make sure nothing is too thick. So again, top loader with even just a little piece of paper around it like this, perfectly fine. All right. So this is just a little pickup I got. But you don't need even to put the piece of tape inside of that, because the team bag will actually do the same job and hold the card snug inside there, just in case, you know, there's a little bumpiness in the shipping. So again, Scotch tape, not the best, but, you know, I do appreciate the effort. So I don't typically collect Cam Newton, but, you know, I think he's got a chance to potentially get into the Hall. You know, we'll see how it goes. I think he's doing a decent job this year on the Patriots. I don't know if he's gonna, you know, last there. I think they might call it 1 year and call it good, but you never know. It could end up being something long term. But I love Select field level for football. These are the short print, you know, 200 and up. We talked about this in other videos, but you know, the field level super short print, it's beautiful. This is the silver, so it's got a little bit more value. I got this for, gosh, I mean, it was a few bucks. I'm just peeking on my eBay right now. I got it for $4. So I don't know if that's a fair price or not, but you know, it was $3.99, and then that was it. And then I paid, you know, a little bit of tax, so got it for $4.39. So again, I don't think there's anything crazy about this card. This is not like a rookie or anything. This is 2017, so you know, it's kind of mid career for Cam. But you know, I think there's still value in some of these GOATs, you know, some of these Hall of Famers that are gonna definitely go into the Hall, and I think all their cards are going to be somewhat collectible at some point. So, you know, hey, $4 now. If it's nice, slab it. You know, might find a nice Cam collector out there that, you know, needs this to finish his set. And there you go. So, nice Cam card there. All right, a couple more here. And here comes the good old bubble mailer. I've been pretty diligent about recycling these. I'm trying to use them. I actually have a huge stack under my desk here that I save if they're decent. Don't have, you know, too much junk on them. I just take the top off them, and then I just keep them and I reuse them. I just put a new label on top of the old one. Why not? It saves you money. It's good for the environment. This is interesting choice of material. It was a paper towel. It's like, all right, I guess work with what you got, right? Hey man, as long as the card arrives to me in good shape, I don't really, it doesn't bother me too much. I don't get all hung up on too much stuff. All I ask is that, you know, I think a lot of the stuff that we use to package things is very reusable, and I would love to reuse, you know, top loaders and stuff, but if they're just like covered in Scotch tape residue and crap, you know, I don't want to send that to somebody else. It looks very unprofessional. I like these little white, I don't know what you call them, fillers. They come in certain packs of cards and whatnot. I think they're very handy for shipping, and I actually have a little stack of them. I save them, so I'll keep these. Jeez. Okay, I think I know what this is. So these will get kept for future use. Oh, you've seen that in my other video. That was I had a graded version of this already, but this one, I actually messaged with this guy quite a bit. he was really nice. He's very transparent with the listing and the condition of the card. I asked him, as I typically do, and this is another tip, guys. Like when you're buying cards on eBay, especially if you're spending good money on it. I mean, this was a pretty expensive raw card. I want to say it's a few $100. So if you're buying raw cards that are definitely of high value, I mean, I wouldn't nitpick, you know, too many cards, you know, that are on the lower end, under $10. You know, you kind of, you know, you got to kind of understand that you get, it's a little bit of the dice roll, right? But, you know, there's still no harm in asking. But I guess what I'm saying is that if you're spending big bucks, the person who's selling it should be more than willing and able to answer questions, you know, give you additional photos, do all the things that, you know, you would expect if you're buying something else that's of high value. You know, you're not going to go buy a car, you know, without any sort of information on it or no knowledge on, like, doesn't, you know, is the engine jacked up on it, or are there dings and dents all over it? You know what I mean? Again, I know a car is a little bit of a bigger purchase price, but at the same time, I mean, $300 for a piece of cardboard, you know, I want to make sure that it's in good shape. You know, I don't want to just buy it sight unseen and expect it to be like, show up and be, you know, have a bunch of scratches and crap all over it. And especially when it comes to things that you can't see in pictures, you know, and to me, what I typically ask for majority of the time is surface, because the surface is the hardest part, you know, to judge from a picture, because you can't do this. You know, you can't put it under light, move it around, look for any imperfections, look for print lines. You know, those are the things that you just will never be able to understand, you know, or see clearly on a photograph. So, you know, I do my best, you know, to try to be respectful and just ask them the questions, and hopefully they'll answer them and be really transparent with you and tell you, oh yeah, there's, you know, a couple of little scratches here or scratches there, or what have you. But for the most part, I think if people, you know, want to be good stewards of the industry, and if they want to sell their cards without any problems, they'll, you know, they'll let you know what's going on with it. And, you know, for the most part, I think people are usually pretty cool about it, as long as you just ask politely and you ask them, you know, pretty just quick, poignant questions. Hey, can you tell me if there's any surface issues that you can tell on the front or the back of the card? And the typical response is always, well, I'm not a grader, but blah, blah, blah. You know, and I think it's funny. So I'm like, I'm not asking you to be a grader. I'm just trying to ask you if there's a giant freaking, you know, dent in the card, or there's a big nail in, you know, print in it or something. You know, I'm not asking you to give it a grade. I'm just asking you a real basic question. So make sure your question is very poignant, you know, straight to the heart of the matter, and you know, and hopefully 9 out of 10 times they'll respond back with an answer, or even what's even better is more pictures or whatever it is that you can supply them. Actually, yeah, I was selling a card recently, and a guy asked me that same question, and I offered him to send him a video of me sort of moving the card under the light, and he wasn't able to send me his email address because eBay has some sort of some artificial intelligence that doesn't allow you to send your personal contact information through their messaging platform, which I thought was pretty interesting because I actually never knew that. But we ended up just, you know, kind of doing a friendly, you know, hey, you know, take my word for it, it's in good shape, and so on and so forth. So, you know, it's one of those things where at some point you get, you know, friendly with the person through your messaging, and, you know, you kind of can get the impression if they're a good person and they're not, you know, trying to screw you over or whatever. So, so yeah. So anyway, so this guy included an extra top loader. Hey, it's in good shape, so I'll use that for future stuff. Sorry about that. All right. Still getting used to this video arm holding my camera. All right, so this is another card I picked up recently. This one I am pretty excited about because, like I've said before, I'm from Seattle, so I don't really understand what the... I guess it's instead of tape, they put that out. Anyways. Part of the fun of getting mail days is just seeing how people package things half the time, I swear. It's really interesting. Now, you know, now this thing has, like, just goo all over it, and you know, just gross. So you know, this is gonna go in the trash or recycling bin, but that's unfortunate. So anyways, grab this Durant card. I don't know what's holding that in. There we go. So I got this Durant rookie card. And this was one of the lower end ones. This wasn't his like Topps Chrome or anything that's super expensive, but I thought it was a cool card. And you know, being from Seattle, anything in the Sonics jersey to me is super super nostalgic, and it's just, you know, one of those things, man. Could have been our team had we had an owner that wasn't a shady dude. So when I get cards, what I typically do is as soon as I get them, I look at them under the light, give them a quick, you know, inspection, you know, and if there's something wrong with it, I will literally immediately contact the seller. And I'm not talking about little things, you know, I'm not, you know, if there's a little scratch or, you know, something that's pretty minor, hey, it's just part of the game, you know, you shouldn't be like trying to get a refund for every little detail. But if it's something that's pretty obvious, you know, I'll write to the seller and just be like, hey, bro, there was a pretty substantial issue with this card. And again, I'm not nitpicking, you know, if there's a little, you know, if one of the corners is a little bit soft, or, you know, like I said, there's a little tiny scratch or something on the surface, you know, it's just kind of part of the buying process that you don't always, I'm gonna put this in a different top sleeve. You don't always get the perfect card in the mail, and that's totally understandable. You know, there's a lot of people out there that just don't really know, like, if a card is damaged or not. Like, they might not be educated in grading, or, you know, kind of the grading you know, criteria, I guess you call it. So they don't even understand that, like, oh, that little thing on the card could cause it, you know, from being a 10 to an 8, you know, they just don't get it. So a lot of times I'll just let it slide and, you know, kind of chalk it up to lesson learned. But this card looks pretty good. There's a little slight, this corner is just raised just a hair. It's sharp. It just has like a slight, like it was like slightly pushed. I don't know. It's pretty good shape. I think it could probably get a 9 if I was just eyeballing it. Centering on these are weird because I actually looked at a few online, which, you know, I suggest you do too. If you're in the business of buying raw cards and trying to grade them like I do, it's important to understand, like, what are the criteria for a 10. So if you can find the card that you have, definitely look for it in a PSA 10, because then you have a template for what PSA would consider a 10. And then you can compare the raw card to the card of the 10 and, you know, make your assumptions based on that. So the top to bottom is the one that seemed a little tricky. It's weird because what you would typically look for is, okay, so if this is the diamond shape here, then the top of the diamond should, you know, be cut into about the same as the bottom of the diamond. So you can see the top is slightly more cut into than the bottom is. But when I looked online, I noticed that was kind of the case for the ones that were getting 10s also. So I just made the assumption that there isn't like a perfect top to bottom centering on this. It's just kind of the way it was designed. Left to right, usually there'll be a couple like key indicators. So again, not knowing if this diamond is like perfectly centered or not, but, you know, you can look at the, you know, the differences between the gap between this little silver line and this little silver line, you know, between that and the edge on both sides. It looks pretty close. Same thing here, just gap. This one's a little bit further out, so it's harder to tell. Look here to here, those silver lines look pretty close. The other thing I kind of look for too is when they have logos in the corner, typically a quick and easy way, if the logo, again, it has to be that indicator is correct, but if it's true, the top gap between the top of the logo to the edge and then the right side of the logo to the edge should typically be around the same proportions. You can kind of see that there, that it looks pretty good. So anyways, this card looks pretty good. I think this is definitely a grading candidate. Love to have another Durant in my collection. I think this is cool. So yeah, this is 2008 Upper Deck. Yeah, the SP Rookie Edition. So cool card. Hopefully it'll do well. So anyways, that's all I got for today. See you guys next time. Peace.